Okay, so today we're going to work on the woman in the window, and I have here yellow ochre, cadmium red light, burnt umber, and white. I'm using a round brush, medium size, not too big for now, just for this general color of the skin. And then I will go to a smaller round brush. I will use then a switch to a smaller one for detail. And it's not going to be really detail. It's going to be more like negative painting for the face. This is really tiny, and there's no way I can put detail of a face person at this side, on a size like this. So, all right, sorry, I should be starting with cadmium red light, yellow ochre, and that will give me a nice skin tone. There are many ways of making a skin tone. This is one of them, and this is good for small areas like this, where it's not a big surface and no detail. This is perfect, this combination. Or burnt sienna. Burnt sienna and yellow ochre and white, that's nice too. That will work. But burnt sienna has to be transparent burnt sienna, and that Liquitex has it, transparent burnt sienna. That's a good one for skin tone, or Winsor & Newton burnt sienna. Okay, and I'm going to take now, it looks orange, it looks very orange, but it's like kind of a, it's an orange, but it's like kind of a earthy orange. But once I put white in it, I can then adjust the tone to pink, make it like more pink. You'll see it this way better without that strong light. Hold on, let me. That's better. It's a bit better. Okay, but we don't want to put this color. This is the highlight. Don't put this color right now. We're highlighting with this. What we're going to do, I'm just showing you what we will get. Okay, now what we're going to do is take red and yellow ochre, because yellow ochre will tip the red into more of a, tone it down into more earthy color. And we're going to take white, put it in, but not too much white. And I'm keeping in mind that this white is this color is going to dry darker. Medium tone. So you see, compared to this, it's kind of medium tone. Okay, now I'm not sure we're going to need burnt umber, but let's see. Okay, let's take a little bit of burnt umber just to kind of break that orange color right now, because there's not a lot of white in here. Yeah, that's better, and that will allow me to get have some shadow areas in here. So I'm going to start with this color, which is toned down with a bit of burnt umber in it. I have to change to a smaller brush.
And because we're working on brown, the color will dry darker, which is great. I really want this color to dry darker. Okay, let's do this. Kind of remove most of the detail here. We know where the eye is going to be, roughly, so we're good. And now let's put this color. Okay, I'm not going to try to cover completely. I don't want it. I don't want to cover it completely. I just want to make sure that the nose is in the right place. And I can always adjust from the outside, negative painting, to reshape or redo the face if I lose the shape. So I'm not kind of concerned here. And take a bit more of the brown and add it to more paint. You know, most of the time when we are painting, when you sketch something, it will look different once you paint. You know, sometimes it looks good, fine, and then all of a sudden when you start putting paint on it, it looks maybe too big, proportions are not right. There's a big difference between painting and sketching. Sorry, it looks a bit. Let me adjust. Okay, that's better. Because on the screen it looked a bit yellow. Too yellow. Okay, that's better. All right, let's do the arm. This is the hand, and all I'm doing with the hand is the shape that looks kind of like a mitten for now. Okay, we don't need more than that for now. I don't want to go into detail with the hand. It looks like she's wearing a mitten, which is fine. Okay, since I'm doing this right now, I'm just going to just clean up. And I'm cleaning up with burnt umber, the same color as the background, the priming. I'm going to bring her upper lip in a bit, maybe. This is good. Now, with burnt umber in the skin tone, more burnt umber in the skin tone, I'm going to paint right here this shape. And underneath the nose, a small little tiny triangle. And this triangle
it's going to give me a hint of the nose, not exactly the nose, but a hint, because the bottom of the nose is usually darker. Okay, so this is kind of giving me a hint of the eye, where the eye is. This is a socket where the eye is in. So the whole thing right here, I'll show you so you can see what I'm trying to do. This is burnt umber only, just burnt umber, and I'm going to put over here a hint of an eyebrow. Whoa, that's a big eyebrow. Oh, let's take more burnt umber, darker. It has to be a thin line. Well, on mine, because I'm working with on an 8x10, so it's really tiny. I'll fix that in a minute. Maybe I should wait for it to dry so I can manipulate a bit. Right, so it's okay. I mean, the nose is not what I want. It's too big, and the lips are big. That's okay. I can fix that, all of this, once I start putting the highlight. Now, I just want to make sure that the face is right, the shape, and it's not. This jawline should come in down a bit, and I will do that in a minute when I start highlighting. I think I can start highlighting. Do you want me to give you a minute to do that before I start highlighting?
Yes.
All right, good. Okay, no problem. Okay, so now I have I have a kind of like highlighted skin tone, and I used red, yellow ochre, and white. And what you see on the screen, you see a little bit kind of an orangey. It's not, it's more pink. For some reason, the camera is not really not working. It's just because it's too close to the picture, to the canvas. All right, now I'm bringing in here a little bit of having a kind of ready. I brought in a bit of burnt umber, and you'll see why, because we will have to at one point blend. You'll see, look, this is where it's going to happen. This is a highlighted color, and I'm going to start with the forehead. I'm going to stop where this is over kind of the just where the eyebrows is. Don't paint in between. Paint the top of the nose right here, and it's like a triangle, long triangle, like this. Then I'm going to paint upper lip. That will shape the lip itself. Then I'm going to take a little bit more color and paint the chin and push the color in. I'm going to lower a bit the chin area. And I can also, that's too low, but that's okay. I will fix it in a minute. And now at this point, I'm going to start bringing in, oh, sorry, no, before we do that, let's do the cheek right here. So in between the cheekbone and the lower part of the jaw, I am putting a slightly darker color. Meaning that I added a tiny bit of more burnt umber in there. And also I'm going to take again some burnt umber, push it into that mixture, and do the side of the nose. The side of the nose usually is slightly darker. Okay. So you should see a little bit of a darker color where the nose, the side of the nose, between this part, the upper part of the nose and the cheekbone. This part here of the nose is slightly darker. It catches less light. I'm going to take, now at this point, I'm trying to adjust the mouth, push it in a bit down, and put again, I'm going to adjust the values. Again, nose, cheeks. So I'm putting a little bit more highlight, connecting it to the bottom part. Bottom part should be a bit darker, so I'm going to take a bit of more burnt umber in here and adjust the jaw line. Now, having done this, we're going to go back to the eye, highlight the eye, and I'm going to bring the highlight up a bit where the eye is. And this is okay. Let's bring that down. I brought it up too much. So this right here, that little kind of line up here, that's her eyebrow. And this is where the eye is. It's like a kind of a very thin triangle. And I'm going to take again a little bit of burnt umber. The burnt umber I'm using is more like a glaze, and I'm going to darken a bit inside where the eye is. I'm going to adjust the highlight again, because now the highlight is drying, so it's good. I can see where I need to adjust it and highlight it a little bit more. Again, I'm going to do cheek area. And as soon as I get kind of away from that area, I need it to be dark. It needs to get darker. Where the jaw is a little bit lighter. And I'm going to introduce again a tiny bit of burnt umber mixed with the color of the skin, and kind of try to blend between the cheek up here and the jaw right there. Now I'm going to take again highlighted skin tone and give it's like working with a miniature. Okay, nose and the mouth, upper lip. I'm just gonna at this point I can tell that it needs to go down a bit, the mouth. But that's okay. I mean, the mouth is always something that I can adjust later on. Okay. Okay. For the mouth, I'm going to take some tiny bit of red, burnt umber, white, and create a color that is kind of muted red. And I'm going to put the color on all over. I don't need to see it very like a strong color. Like I don't need to see the lip. I just need to see a hint of a lip. Now, what I'm going to do is I added white to the same burnt umber, cadmium red light, and white. And I'm just going to do the bottom part of the lip. Try to do that. I'm going to stop for now and then I'll come back to it so you can get to this point. All right, so for this part, now we're going to work on the, so all I did actually off camera is I put another layer of darker color, which is cadmium red light and burnt umber for the upper lip, because upper lip usually is darker. And for the lower lip, just use the skin tone. I added white to the same color, and then I put a hint of the lower lip. And I adjusted between the lower lip and the chin. It wasn't, the chin looked a bit too small, so I just kind of made it wider. That's all. That's all I did. I'm going to leave it just the way it is. Let's start with the skin tone of the upper part of her right here. So she's looking this way, that to the right, and the light is coming from that part as well, kind of. So her face is going to cast a shadow over part of her neck. And we'll start with this part where, you know, I'm going to start with where I see, I can kind of see there's light. In the reference, you will see that she has a lot of kind of bone structure. Kind of bones, what are they called? Her collarbone, yeah. And everything, all of that. We're not doing this. This is way too much. For this, we're going to just go with the skin tone and leave where underneath her face a small part that is darker. That's it. That's what we're going to do. Now we might add a little bit of white over here, over again, with the skin tone, a little bit more white, and then go stronger light here, where the light is hitting. Where there's shadow, there's light. That's why there's a shadow and a strong shadow. So I'm going to do this. And then I'm going to push this highlight down, but not all the way down. just upper part, and leave that lower part darker. Slightly darker. Now I don't want her part, this part, to be lighter than her face, and it's looking lighter. You can see on the camera too. So I'm going to take the same highlights I used for the upper body and go back to the face and highlight just a bit, not much. Where the strong highlight should be. Cheek, nose, forehead, and a little bit of the chin. Even if we don't blend, that's okay. We need that strong highlight on her face in the areas that are important areas where they really they do catch the light. I think it's okay. I think I'm not gonna touch it more. That's it. That's fine. She's not the focal point, thank God, and she's just there as a supporting actor, right? So okay, so now I'm gonna stop so you can do this, and then we'll do the hand and arm. All right, let's work on the arm now. I'm gonna take the same color for the skin. I'll put some white in here for the highlight, but we do need also burnt umber on the side. I always like to have burnt umber mixed with the skin tone on the side, because I can, at this point, when I highlight and I get to an area where I need to darken, I can do it at this, at the same time. I don't have to wait. Okay, let's take a highlight and highlight the upper part of the arm. So what I did is I painted this part all the way, and then I went across on an angle, and I didn't paint the arm all the way down, just upper part. That's why I like to have this darker, slightly darker skin tone ready, so I can put it down and connect. And let's do, with the darker color, a hint of some of the fingers. Now, this is done, but I'm going to take burnt umber and kind of adjust. It's a general shape of the fingers. I don't want to put lines in between. I don't want to show that. A general shape of the fingers is enough. All I'm trying to do is create values, just kind of where the fingers go lower down, it's darker right here. Underneath the hand right there and the arm, darker. and the upper part is highlighted. I'm going to take a little bit more highlight right now at this point and try to highlight this part. Again, it's like a triangle. Can you see the triangle? Right there, like this. And then I don't have to connect them. I'm gonna highlight and put, this is a very simple way of shaping this arm and hand. Another triangle here, big one. From here goes in, from here goes in, and this triangle they meet. Triangle that way, and a triangle this way, and they meet. Now, it looks really kind of straight, too straight. We can push this part a bit higher. And this goes down. This is where the wrist is. And down where at the bottom, where the wrist, this part, I can reshape the hand. And that's it. We don't need to put more than that. That's enough. Once we put the clothes on, it will look much better because it's not, you know, against a strong contrast. All right, I'm gonna pause. All right, so for the hair, I have Ivory Black, Burnt Umber, or any black you have. And I'm just going to add the hair on any style you like. This is the easiest style right there. And we're gonna cover part of the ear. Again, really simple. And then after we do this, I am going to move on to the upper part, like the top she's wearing, because we're running out of time. So I'm going to use Burnt Umber for now, Titanium Buff, a little bit of black, just because I want to keep it, I want to keep the top neutral for now, and then we can glaze it any color we want after. So this kind of a taupey color. I'm just going to come here, gray taupey color. At least we can put the folds and the shape and then easily glaze whatever we want after, any color we want. I'm going to go across like this. Bring this down. So this color, which is a mid-tone, is perfect. It's again, it is a, it's Burnt Umber, Ivory Black, and Titanium Buff. And I'm just putting the first layer. And when I get to the part where the sleeve is, I am kind of giving this part a little bit of a movement. And you'll see in a minute, once I start highlighting, you will see that kind of fold movement, or brushstroke, I should say. All right. Now I'm going to take more of the titanium buff, put it in here for highlights. And I'm going to start highlighting top. All right, so I'm going to use the dark that I have underneath for the folds. I'm going to highlight part of the fold and then keep the dark, try to keep the dark underneath showing the first layer of paint. Also, again, anytime you start going down in when you're painting in any object or person, or the color gets darker at the bottom. So this is highlighted here, more of the, put a little bit more of titanium buff, and once I get down to the bottom part, I'm going to darken a bit with burnt umber and black and titanium buff, but I'm going to darken it a bit so it's not the same like the upper part, which is really highlighted. And also it's getting really, now the color is drying darker. Again, we can easily glaze color on next time. Now, I added white at this point to the same mixture I was using because I'm going to give it more highlight. It looks like a fan, okay? You know that, like I am moving the brush for the folds down this way, upper part, this is, and then on an angle, and then I am going to turn and go across this way. Okay, again on this side, same idea. I will darken in between, not darken, actually adjust the value, because right now there's a strong white color, over here on the side where I added the white to the, and very dark right next to it. So I'm just I will adjust the values in a minute. Once I'm done with the folds. I'm putting a little bit of burnt umber in here, so I get a little bit of a dark Now another way of doing painting this is just doing the folds and then glaze the shadow and dark area on after. So I'm adjusting the folds right now. Kind of varying the shape so it doesn't look the same everywhere. So you see here, I have it's not that light. Okay, I'm gonna go back a bit so the camera can adjust, and then fix the exposure. Yeah, that's better. All right, so you see here, when I'm putting the folds on, from this part to here, all the way, it's the same value. So for me to make it look darker inside here, all I have to do is just get a bit of a darker color, and I just used a bit of burnt umber in the same color, and then just paint the inside of the fold, the inside of the arm. Okay, that's good. We can add anything we want after, but for now it's good. We just kind of finished. I just realized that her arm should be on the other side, showing a bit. So I'm going to do that right now.
Can't it just be tucked under the windowsill?
Sure.
Sorry.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. It's another option too.
Oh, I thought you meant underneath it.
No. Just kind of a little bit in this area. In here. It should be darker. So I'm adding. I mixed the skin tone, yellow ochre, cadmium red light, white, and I'm adding burnt umber. I need to push it back. It's coming forward. So I'm going to put more burnt umber at this point. Yep, that's better. And we'll just leave it at this point. Just leave it like that. It's fine. Now we can, if we want, at this point, take hair color. Let's see if we add a tiny bit of white to the brown, burnt umber and black. Tiny bit of white. And instead of having a very kind of strong dark black, just put a bit of highlights on the hair, tiny bit. because I'm adding white to black, it's turning a little bit gray. So I can, at this point, take burnt umber and kind of use a bit of burnt umber, more burnt umber in the white, in this hair color, just to make it look like it's actually light reflection on the hair. Now, when this is dry, I will go back and glaze it with brown. And I can do it right now, I think. Okay, let's do this. Just burnt umber. I'm gonna go over with burnt umber. I can still see the highlight, but it's, instead of gray, it will be brown. Okay. Good. All right. We're good for today. Next week we'll start working on the wall. Everybody's okay with the... If you have any questions, or if you want, just send me a picture of what you did, and I can, if you have any kind of concerns.
And for the new project next week, we'll just wait till now. This is getting a bit.
We can check right now. I'm just gonna pause, and then we can check a new project now. All right, I'm gonna pause. All right, we're good for this week. Next week we'll start working on the wall.